just goes to ensure how important, obviously, no matter where you're riding, to have the correct gear on. And even though you're an experienced rider, it can happen to the best of us. So to get a bit of context on maybe why it happened, let's start at the beginning. So you're joining us back on the N260 road again that heads between Sort and Adril. The plan is for today is to head down to Monsterrat and maybe into Barcelona if we have time. The day was going to be one of the hottest on our trip. I think the morning temps were about 15-16 degrees, obviously with a bit of altitude. It was a little warmer, a little cooler, sorry. So this meant that we left relatively early to get a good bit of the riding done in the cooler weather before it started getting some scorching heat. After a short motorway leg down the A2, you join us heading in the back way to the Monsterrat, as I missed the intended junction. You can see the distinctive hills of Monsterrat in the background. Maybe this is where the first signs appear from the long trip, the hot weather, and generally just riding an awful lot, with our concentration levels not being at peak for obviously the tasks we're doing, and maybe just taking in the views and just missing me indicating, which could have been late as well on my part. As we continue around Monsterrat and through the actual national park, we thought we'd take a bit of a break. We'd been riding a while, and obviously even I was getting a bit tired, so we found a little spot with a nice view and a clear view, so we thought we'd have a quick refreshment stop there. After a while, me and my brother carried on, not without having a bit of play in the loose stuff. Continue riding all the way to the top, and obviously realising that there's no car park area for the bikes. Only later to find that the little bit that we're going past now, the dining complex, that there's actually a motorcycle designated spaces inside where the coaches park. We only realised this after we found a space parked up. Well, by this point we were extremely hot in our bike gear. I even actually took my jacket off and carried my jacket in my hand with my helmet and stuff, because it was just absolutely scorching. I don't know if it was the extra altitude or what, but it felt hot. There you see the stairways to heaven that they've fenced off. I think a tourist fell off it and severely hurt themselves, I believe, so they've had it fenced off ever since. We did plan to head up to the top of the monastery. I think there's like a cable car tram train thing that drags you up the side of the cliff, pretty steep. But it looked pretty busy, and it was quite expensive as well, and it have added about another hour, 2 hours on being at that location. So I thought we were getting hungry, so we decided to travel down and head down towards La Bomba to get a bit of food, because we were getting hungry. So after some lunch we decided to head up to a viewpoint, and I'm not going to butcher the name, so I'll put it down at the bottom. After about another hour or so, we decided to take refuge in this stop in the shade of this old petrol station when we ran into this lovely couple, as you can see, just leaving on the bike. They've been travelling around on a 125, it's the first time he's ever been on one as well, so it was quite a bit of a laugh talking to him and stuff. But yeah, it was quite nice. I do apologise if you do watch this video, I cannot for the life of me remember your names. I was hoping that one of my cameras had caught your name, but fortunately it hadn't. So as you can see, it was a bit of a mild crash, but the first crash my brother's had on the road for good 25 plus years, not including off-road obviously. We did have a look at the road, and it did seem quite slippy on the outer sort of side. It was quite sandy, but we kind of both seen it as a bit of an omen, because just further, literally no more than a mile up the road, as we were continuing, the actual road got a lot worse. So anyone that is going down that road, be very careful around this point after the town, because there's a lot of fresh tar banding that had been put down that was quite thick, so it was taking the tyre wandering the tyre across the road, which was a bit unnerving. But not to mention I was leaning around a corner, probably doing 35, 40 maybe miles an hour, if that, at probably about a 10-degree angle, and literally had the back end step out on, because at the time my brother was still just making sure his handlebars were straight and everything else, so we weren't really going that quick. As you can see from the picture, this is the tar banding. A bit of an odd one. It wasn't expected at the time, never is. But now you just see us up on the kind of the viewpoint before the viewpoint, where we seen where we could pull over safely and assess the damage, and my brother can have a look, because he did squash his leg between the barrier and the bike, and obviously anyone that knows that bike, it is pretty heavy. And luckily he did have some good quality boots on. He had the City Adventure 2s, and that took the big buckles on the side of that took most of the brunt, but as it dragged his leg back, the studs that hold the copings together tend to hit his shin and made quite a nasty hole in his shin that did take about 3 months to heal up. But yeah, after a bit of assessment, relaxation, we thought, right, we realised that we're only just short of the viewpoint. So we thought we'd get up there, because we knew there was supposed to be like a van thing there to get a drink because we'd run out. So we set off and headed up there, and this is where you catch us on the video now. I'm just sitting here, I got time, it's clear to see from up here. The world seems small, we can sit together, it's so beautiful, you and me, we meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Yeah, water's quite low here this time of year.